All right, YouTube, we're back. This is how we cut the Rafter Tails off. So you can see each of them has already been marked with a plumb line going from the bottom to the top where the overhang should be. And then we have this nice block right here, which, do you want to go ahead and install one of those blocks and show them how we put that in there? So each Rafter tail, after it's plumbed with a line, gets the block screwed in to give a nice guide. For the circular saw. And then you rip it down with a circular saw, like so. And because the TJIs are a little thick, we come back through and finish it off with the reciprocating saw, just like that. As you can see, that's about, I don't know, 8 of them done, maybe 9 of them done. And that's the process. Repetitive, but good system. It gets nice straight cuts. All right, that's how that's done. Okay, so this is part of the rim joist installation. Pretty efficient process. They set the rim joist on one end, pin it at the top and the bottom. Go to the other end. And then what they do is they pin the bottom part and then use the level to level up the TJI at the top by just kind of pulling on it and tweaking it in place. And they pin the outside edge. So now we know that horizontally should be fine. And then in turn, every single one gets pinned at the bottom, and then use the 4-foot level to straighten them up to make them plumb. Manipulate them into place, and then nail them in. It's a very efficient process, done with great skill and good teamwork. And that's that. All right, well, switching gears a little bit, something else that goes up on the roof that a lot of people, maybe who aren't in the trades, don't know about is an underlayment for the roof that protects against, at least for northern climates, water and ice. And so they have this rubberized kind of waterproof adhesive material with a backer on it called, water and ice is typically what you refer to it as when you want to go buy it. It comes in a roll, and this is an example of the product we're using up on the roof today. And so that goes on over the top of the sheathing on the roof. And typically for a shingled roof or something like that, from what I know, you put it on the the last couple of feet of the overhang of the roof. And it really just helps for ice and water damming up underneath the roof should there get any water underneath the surface material, whether it's tile or not tile, whether it's shingles or things of that nature. So this is the actual product that's going up there. I don't know the brands or anything specifically, but apparently this is a Carlisle product and it's made in the USA, which makes me feel kind of nice about that. And it's heavy, so just warning, if you're going to be moving this stuff, be prepared to go up and down ladders to get it up on the roof. All right, let's take a look at how you install this product in just a minute. So, as I said before in the video on the ground, when I was showing you the up-close box, it's basically a roll of material with an adhesive backer, and it's basically a waterproofing membrane. And so what you do is you roll it out on the roof. As you can see, there's a black strip that's already been down. That's the first strip that's been placed. And kind of how it works is you effectively roll it out, and then as you can see, Jason, the framer, has got a hand nailer, like a slap hammer, to nail it down, or to staple it down. And you do that with the backer in place. So there's like a rubber, or I'm sorry, a plastic liner or film that's on the adhesive side that prevents it from sticking immediately. This lets you lay it out nice and straight in the roll, and you staple it down or nail it down. And once you have it completely laid out with just a couple of staples holding it down to adhere it to the roof, then from one end of it you kind of lift it up, peel the backer off, and then pull it out from underneath the roll. So kind of a weird way of describing it, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and just let you kind of watch the process here for a minute and get a sense for how you install this product. It's pretty easy once you know kind of what you're supposed to do. And by the way, of course, there are certain temperatures that work better for the adhesive for sticking to the plywood underneath for the sheathing. So you do want to make sure to check the manufacturer specifications about, you know, proper temperatures for installation, things like that. If it's really cold, it doesn't seem to stick as well, but today's a nice warm day. It's probably in the 70s. So as I was just saying, taking the mat just right out of the box as it is, placing it, stapling the corner, and then rolling it out nice and straight. And every so often you'll see he'll just stop and give it a little adjustment and then tack it back into place. And it is important to try to keep it, you know, fairly well lined up. You want a good overhang and overlap the material. Again, consult your specific product's, you know, instructions about how far to overlap it. And you do always start at the bottom and work your way up to make the waterproofing membrane complete. So here, at the end of the roll, utility knife, a regular, you know, box cutter style razor, just trim it to length. Set the roll aside, and as you can see, when it's all straight and ready to go, you kind of lift the open or free edge and grab the cellophane or plastic type backer and just pull it out from underneath the product. You can see he steps down that end to keep it adhered, and you can actually pull the backer off from right underneath the sheet as you go, just like so. And because it's been stapled, it's got that nice ability to stay in place while you're pulling out the backer, and it really doesn't take very long. It's I mean, he's a professional, so he's going to go much faster than maybe the amateur who's done it one time, but take your time, roll it out. Really, it's that easy. And as you can see, you can work with it a little tiny bit depending on the temperature if you need to make an adjustment. But you step it down, roll it down, and there you go for the second half of the plastic backer. And once this is done, the entire sheet will be ready to adhere with just the natural temperatures to the sheathing, and that's one row. So that's roughly how long it takes to do 60 foot of that material. All right, hope that was informative and you learned something. And here we are, about to put up the last couple of sheets of plywood sheeting on the north side. Went up pretty quick. Nothing really extravagantly out of the ordinary to explain here. It goes pretty basic. You start full sheet on the bottom. The next row up, you start at, you know, halfway overlapped, and then you just make sure your lines have been square and plumb to start with, and you just kind of run them up that way. So not a lot to really take in for this, so I didn't film a lot of it, but the material went up pretty quick. It's been a couple hours anyway. And then the very top row has to be ripped, so we'll have to rip the last few sheets down to the right dimension. But that's it. That's the last full sheet going up on the roof right now. Drop it in, tap it in from the side. And that's the show. Well, it's just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is the progress. So this is the north side roof. As you can see, it's got the water and ice at the top and bottom, and then all through the middle it's got a product called deck armor. And except for just doing a little razor knife trimming of the overlap on the end of the fascia board, or the rim joist, I guess, because the fascias aren't on yet. Other than that, it's pretty much dried in. It's actually sprinkled and rained a little bit so far. It hasn't hit the heavy rain that we were expected to get yet this evening, but it was not getting wet inside the garage, which is nice to say because it's an actual garage now. So that's something that you know, I've never been able to say before. I actually have a garage. It's weather tight. It's got the garage doors missing, but other than that, the rain will stay out and I could actually work in there, and it's nice and shady, cool. Should be a nice place to get some work done. Just wanted to show it from a couple of angles. Yep, and that's what you got. So I think it looks pretty good. There's still some blocking to do on this end in between the TJIs on the inside of the roof, just to make sure that those are all packed solid, because you can see a little air gap. So that'll be coming probably tomorrow or the day after, not sure. Yeah, and then maybe today we'll even get the rest of the outside covered in tar paper, just to weather tight the sheathing on the outside, or perhaps we'll move to inside and do the sheathing of the internal beam that I mentioned before. So I'll just do a quick walk around back to the inside, and you can see what it's like all closed in. Forgive the mess. I have a little bit of material left to clean up from the flurry of construction activity that happened earlier today, but we'll get right on that. That's one thing I'll say about this crew. They're also fairly tidy. I've had a lot of folks on site doing construction that just kind of throw things everywhere, and these guys were really good about trying to keep a tidy pile and centralize stuff, and made sure to try to follow my lead on cleaning up, which was really good. So here it is. I'll have to let the camera adjust for light, but this is the shop. Hopefully that comes out okay on camera. It's a little dark, but don't have any electricity or lights on to turn on quite yet. In case you're wondering, this car is 10 foot long front to back. It's really small, so it makes the shop perhaps look bigger than it really is, but it's a pretty good size. This is from one corner looking back to the opposite. It's 5 bays. Each bay is easily 2 cars deep, with room for a sizable workbench right where I'm standing. So that is the intention, is the concrete wall that I showed when I first walked in the building, which I'm going to now pan to and show. That will have the workbench set up, and it should be a very long, comfortable space to do work. The plan is workbench on the rightmost area between the trash cans and the car. This will be the metal shop, or automotive section of the garage to do maintenance and repair and restoration stuff. The center section over here between the 2 reinforcements in the wall, that'll be a long workbench, probably set up for woodworking with a chop saw and maybe a table saw station somewhere over there to do an outfeed table of some sort that I can use to move in and out to cut down plywood. And just continuing over here to where that insulation board is, the plumbing is stubbed out for a small bathroom, so there'll be a half bath down here with a external slop sink for tidying up, so I don't have to track grease and dirt and mud and all that stuff into the house. And on the other side of this sheathing that you see where the electrical box is stubbed out, that's sheathing will come off, electrical box will get moved, and a sub panel will go there to power the garage. And right behind that wall, capped off in the wall, is the hot and cold PEX lines to run in here to the bathroom. So it was all planned out originally, just never able to be done because of time and energy. And now you know the plans. So I'll leave you with one more angle from this side, looking back. That's one of the construction crew over there for scale. All right. Welcome back, and it's framing day 5 at the end of the day. The ceiling has dried in, and the giant beam has now been skinned after being reinforced with extra studs to support the window wall above. It's braced up and sheathed on both sides. So that's it for today. Tomorrow the guys are taking a day off, and they'll be back on Friday. And on Friday we'll do the blocking, where you can see the daylight coming through from all the ends of the rafters, and then we'll have this place sealed up for good. And we'll also do the framing for the final door height. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned.